What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie SDot coming back to you with another video, and today marks the finals of the SDBG SDot Battlegroundz tournament number 5, Origins Reloaded. So this tournament allowed press day advantage in it, and but press day advantage has no green battle icon, and picking it up as such will result in a warning. So that's gonna ride out throughout every single tournament I do here from here on out. So we will not ban the card, but we will see how it does with a green icon. Without the green icon. So what we have here is in the finals we have Bretosaurus with the 3-wide aggro card deck. He's playing Lieutenant Bumblebee, Prowl, and Cliffjumper. And then we have David Burgos over here in the finals again 2 times in a row. And this time he's playing Aerial Bot. So a little bit out of his, I don't even want to say his comfort zone, but out of his usual zone. We're usually used to seeing him playing aggro decks, but he's playing the Aerial Bot deck this time around. So first turn, it looks like Bretosaurus, I'm assuming, won the dice roll, and he is going to start with flipping Bumblebee, drawing a card for Cliffjumper, and then attacking with the Bumblebee, discarding an action to draw 2 more cards, and attacking into Fireflight, because since he went first, he has to attack into Burgos' Brave character, being Fireflight. So Brett's first 2 attacks are actually going to end up being not so great, because the first turn he had to go into Fireflight and he got 3 damage on it, but it's nowhere in direct damage range or anything like that, so he's going to have to sink another attack into it for sure. And then his second attack, as you can see, Skydive, Area Bot Skydive went into the B, and it's going to deal 3 damage to the Bumblebee, and excuse me, I'm sorry, not deal 3 damage. He dealt 2 with the marksmanship and then dealt 1 more 3 attack, and then Brett flipped a Matrix of Leadership on defense. So assuming that Brett swung in with the Bumblebee, he's most likely probably has a Start Your Engines or a Turbo Booster, aka an Untap, in his hand. And again, he does have to go into the Skydive this turn, so he's going to have to try to potentially go big or go home into the Skydive. One thing you want to do when you're playing against combiners is, before they get into the big guys, to try to put as much damage on the smaller characters as possible that you can do. Now, but of course, Area Bots are really good at diverging and making your attacks go where they want them to go. And even when you're able to go into certain characters, they may have a sparring gear or whatever on the character at that point, and able to control the game with a lot of direct damage. The deck is very strong in controlling the game with direct damage, and it's a very defensive deck, of course, being just about all blue deck. I don't know if Burgos is playing any oranges besides maybe sparring gears, but Brett's gonna flip Prowl here and draw 1 card for Cliffjumper. He's gonna play a Power Punch on Cliffjumper, so it looks like he doesn't have a Turbo Boosters, and I'm assuming it looks like a Press the Advantage. He's playing it off screen here. He's going to swing in with the Power Punch, so he has Bolt 3, so 5 Bolt 3. I'm assuming 7 Bolt 3 with the Press Day Advantage. So if he has 7, it looks like he has about 10 attack. And Burgos has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if my math is right, he's taking 3. Okay, yeah, so that was a Press Day Advantage. That's what it kind of looked like when he first played it now. Hey Brett, just real quick, when you play your actions, like where you played it at, if you could just play it like right below Prowl when you play your actions, so I can see where they are. So on Burgos draws for turn. He has 5 turns, keep in mind, to flip all of his Area Bots to bot mode, and then be able to use the Area Bot Enigma on his 5th turn. It could take him potentially 4 turns if he plays Rapid Conversion. I did see him play Rapid Conversion early in the tournament. I'm not sure if he mains or side decks it though, but I guess we'll find out at some point here. But he is going to flip Silverbolt here. Now what Silverbolt does, when he flips to bot mode, he's able to deal 1 damage to an enemy. So he can choose one of his characters to deal damage to. Another reason why the Area Bots are so great with their direct damage. And next up we have the Espionage. Espionage, I'm assuming, is going to call orange here. We got a Peace Through Tyranny. Not as good in the card deck, especially at this point right now. He wants to kind of keep all his bots. We have, I'm assuming, 2 Erratic Lightnings, a Grenade Launcher, Improvised Shield, and a Bashing Shield. So his hand is pretty strong, obviously, for upgrades, but not for actions. You know, he has that Peace Through Tyranny, but he'll probably definitely be looking for, you know, a solid action to play here soon. Maybe if he has like any greens or whatever, he could potentially swap out. I mean, I guess there's not many greens you play in an aggro deck, green actions anyway. Maybe in Espionage. Probably the best card in Brett's hand is that Grenade Launcher. Even if Burgos has a Sparring Gear, it's probably best to still take that Grenade Launcher, because even if he plays the Sparring Gear, when Brett has to play the Bashing Shield on his next turn, you know, he won't be able to play another upgrade, or like unless he tops like a Supercharge or something like that in order to play. But it's actually going to opt to take the Bastion Shield here. And so taking that telegraphs that Battlegroundz definitely has an armor to play. So he wants his armor to just stick and not have to deal with it. And it also does make sense because, you know what, if he does play it on Fireflight, Fireflight could probably defend 2 more attacks here. Especially the fact that Prowl is attacking into, has to attack on the following turn. So he's going to send Fireflight in for just 1. That 1 is definitely not going to do anything. And Brett actually flipped another Bashing Shield on his defense. He's going to trade that Improvised Shield, definitely useless in his hand unless he's playing cards like Incoming Transmission or Data Pad, which I don't think he's playing either. Burgo sets up his, Dave sets up his Alpha Bravo with the Nova's Blaster here. So on his next turn, the Alpha Bravo will definitely have 4 Pierce 3 going in. Brett is not playing any Decepticons, so that Pierce from the Nova's Blaster will be non-existent. Gonna flip Proud down to give all of his cards Bold 3. Did he draw into an untap? No, he did not. Start Your Engines would be insane here if he had it. Start Your Engines would be very powerful to be able to flip his B down and also, well, I guess he would have played that first and then flip the B back. But he ended up not having an untap, but he is going to attack and have Bold 2. He's playing Leap of Faith here as well, so I forgot to mention, looks like he, well, I guess he only has 1 extra star. So B and Cliff Jumper is 18 stars and then Prowl makes it 24. And he has room for 1 star card here. So he's playing that Leap of Faith, but he flips it on his attack, but that white was very valuable because it helped him extend into that Piece to Tyranny to flip as well, and he's going to KO the Firefly. Now he doesn't have to deal with Firefly for the rest of the game. He can attack into, you know, his other characters. Now, on this turn right here, Air Raid is going to be very valuable because Air Raid is going to be able to get rid of that Erratic Lightning. Now, even though that's valuable, at the same time, you know, as we saw earlier, Brett has like a ton of upgrades in his hand, so like Brett's not hurt by upgrades. The only thing that's kind of technically hurts is that he just doesn't have any upgrades to stick. So like he'll just kind of be behind in terms of Brett will be kind of behind in terms of keeping upgrades on his guys and, you know, getting like if he can get a second valuable attack out of that Erratic Lightning, that would be great. But that's not going to happen here, so it's all good. I mean, so it ends up being all good either way because of the makeup of Brett's hand. So we see here Burgo still has 3 more flips to flip. Is this turn 3? This is turn 3. Yeah, so okay, that makes sense. He went second. So he's like it's 5 of his turns, but it's technically turn 6 right now, I want to say. Should be turn 6. If he went first, it'd be his turn 5 right now currently, but... Or not his turn 5, it'd be turn 5 total. He's had 3 turns, that's what I mean. But it's turn 6 anyway, so he's had 3 of his own turns, so he'll be able to flip a 3rd bot. Flip it, forgetting to flip one of your, you know, combiner pieces is very, very, very bad for, you know, the player that does so. So you always want to make sure you flip a guy every single turn. Being behind on the flip is not good because, again, the best way for your opponent to beat you is to get as much damage on the smaller guys as possible. Though, yes, you get multiple attacks depending on the way the wheel turn works when, you know, your opponent's combined. It's still better to just have as much of the dirty work done while your guys are small, or your opponent's guys are small. We're going to play an Inferno Breath. Inferno Breath is one of the most powerful cards in this deck. It's better with Firefly because you can tap Firefly, and the fact that his effect is useless, you can deal 3 to an enemy, and then your opponent has to attack into that Firefly. But since Firefly's gone, he's going to just use one of his other characters here. He's going to tap Silverbolt, and he's going to deal 3 damage to Prowl. And him dealing 3 damage to Prowl lets me know that he might actually try to just KO the Prowl this turn. One of the big things for Burgos here is if he can kill one character before he even combines, he's ahead. He's definitely going to be ahead in that situation. Or if he can at least put enough damage on the Prowl to get it within the 3 range for Superion to pop it when Superion combines. That's one of the other more powerful things that Aerial Bots are able to do. So it's going to attack with Air Raid. It's attacking for 4. I'm assuming into Prowl because he wants to just get rid of that weapon. Doesn't want Brett to get another attack out of it. Brett flips 2 double oranges on his defensive flip. That's unfortunate. And he's going to take, he's going to take 3 there and then pop the Erratic Lightning. So you also have to keep in mind with the Erratic Lightning, he takes that extra 1 damage because the Erratic Lightning gives -1 defense, and then afterwards he'll be able to pop it, and then he'll probably go back up to 2 defense. Brett's going to trade the Improvised Shield, looks like for Espionage, I want to say. I think Burgos also got his green too. I missed it. I was kind of looking at Brett's field, but it looks like he ended up getting it. So Alpha Bravo is going to swing. He needs to tap the Alpha Bravo, but I mean, I guess they're about to stand here, so it's not the biggest deal. But Alpha Bravo is going to go in. He has Pierce 3. I wonder if he'll do the Pierce 3 and just get rid of Prowl here. Because Prowl is just very valuable with all the bold, free bold that he gives to his characters. Yeah, he's putting the dice away, so it looks like he's attacking and killing the Prowl, which is huge here. Very, very big turn there. Brett not opening with any untaps and not drawing any. Like, he drew a lot of cards. He drew one off a Cliff Jumper. He discarded a card and drew 2 more cards off Bumblebee. That's 3. He flipped Prowl and drew a 4th card. So out of 4 draws, just the way his deck, you know, flipped on his battles, he just was not able to see his untaps, because his untaps would allow him to untap B and get more value out of the B, discard more cards, discard that Piece of Tyranny that's pretty useless. The Piece of Tyranny is even worse now because he has 2 characters. You're definitely not going to piece here. So he's definitely going to want to try to get some solid attacks. One of Brett's probably best attacks is to attack into that Alpha Bravo. One of the other things you would like to do against combiner decks is, you know, any upgrades that are on the smaller pieces before they combine will be put onto the bigger characters. So like if you have 2 weapons, you get to choose between those 2 weapons to keep it on Superion. So in this situation, this will, as you can see, Burgos has only 2 cards in hand. He could force an attack into, not a force, he can force Burgos to find another upgrade weapon specifically to put on his, you know, on one of his characters to be able to stick when it comes to Superion. So that's something that's very potentially important. So he does have a, oh no, that's an escape route. That wasn't a excuse me, that wasn't a espionage. That was an escape route. So the espionage, all it does here is allow him to draw a card. He's going to flip the B to alt mode and draw a card. Now, notice he flipped the B back to bot mode. If he wanted to play a second action for his turn, he'd have to flip the B, play the action first there, because that's where that effect would be able to trigger. And then after he plays that second action, whatever it may be, he could flip the B back. So he won't be able to play a second action here this turn, which he may or may not even want to do anyway. Keep in mind, his hand was pretty upgrade flooded, so I imagine he doesn't have a ton of actions to really play anyway. But again, he just did use that escape route to draw a card, essentially. So he's going to play Grenade Launcher. I really didn't pay attention to see how many untaps he flipped through, but this Grenade Launcher should definitely do some work. And I imagine I would attack into the Alpha Bravo, but he might attack Air Raid. Air Raid is enticing to attack as well because Air Raid has 0 defense, and you could assume he's going to have 2 defense, you know, after defending, maybe 3 with a double blue. But, oh, wait, okay, he is attacking into Alpha Bravo, and yep, that's exactly what he does. So, good move by Brett, getting rid of the character with the weapon. Very good move. So I imagine Skydive's probably going in next. He still has 2 more flips to do, so he can easily flip the Fireflight in the KO area and then attack with the Skydive. And what this does is the fact that Skydive had damage on it from earlier in the game, he can have Skydive soak another hit. And whether the Skydive dies or not, it's the most damage that Brett will be able to do this on his next turn, because the Skydive has only 5 health left versus killing Silverbolt, who has 7, or Air Raid, who has 8. And Brett he's not playing Legendary Warrior B in this version, so like I don't know if he's side decking it, he might be, but like he couldn't, like, you know, flip untap and then go swing into Air Raid or Silverbolt, which would be very good, by the way, but it looks like he's doing pretty solid. If you look at the rest of the, we got a Bigger There. Bigger There is going to be pretty good. Putting the Bumblebee at 8 for sure. No upgrade play, looks like, though. I think he has an Enigma in his hand. We know he has an Enigma, I think, that he picked up from earlier. And we'll have to figure out the next card is. The way he's holding his hand, it looks like he might have an upgrade to play, or he might want to hold it. I look for tells like that, kind of like poker. I don't know. We'll see, though. I'm assuming he's definitely putting the Bigger They Are on the Skydive, though. No reason not to. Again, he flipped the Firefly, so he can send the Skydive in and have that tough 2 to kind of soak Cliff Jumper's X attack. Who knows? Brett could still just go kind of ham and just put a, you know, I think he had a second Erratic Lightning, and I guess he still has that Bastion Shield too, right? Because he did get a second Bastion Shield off his flips earlier, so I think we know at least 2 cards in Brett's hand. Yep, we gotta send the Skydive in. There are no black icons in his wave, so 5 Pierce 4 would be the most he'll be able to do. Well, I'll take that back. He could flip an orange and do 6 Pierce 4. And so it looks like Burgos is playing 3 Nobles Blasters, because remember, he lost one a little bit ago and he hasn't reshuffled yet, and he just flipped 2 on defense here. So he's gonna have to make a decision. Losing flipping both Nobles Blasters here was actually pretty bad, because if he doesn't pick up one, he may not see another weapon for a while until he reshuffles. If we also looking at scrap pile, 3 energon axes, arm hovercraft, a drill arms, a second arm hovercraft. Like I'm pretty sure, like what's that? 3 axes, 3 Nobles blaster. He's probably playing 1 to 2 hovercrafts, and he's probably playing 1 drill arms. So like what, 7 or so weapons, not including handheld blasters. Yeah, he's probably gonna have to pick up one of these upgrades here now. I'm not sure what he's debating on, because like if he has 2 cards in hand and one's an Enigma, you just trade the other card that's not Enigma for it, and you kind of just have to rock with it, unless he has 2 Enigmas in his hand. Okay, there's a force field, so he wanted to try to keep a force field, but he's not going to be able to here. He knows he needs to try to push damage with that weapon, so he's going to have to grab this. Is one of those hard decisions you have to make, but it was a solid one. I think he made the correct choice. Now it's Brett's turn. I will say Brett really needs to untap right here so he doesn't expose his Bumblebee anymore. He needs to start your engines with Turbo Booster here this turn so he can send in the Cliff Jumper, which also unfortunately means that he's not going to have as strong of an attack on Skydive. So the makeup of Brett's hand needs to be like Turbo Flip B and have a Turbo Booster and then like a Supercharge, or maybe, I don't even want to say Reckless Charge. I don't know if that's... He does have a Confidence though. Okay, so Confidence will help him dig here. He did just reshuffle as well. So this will probably be one of the most important plays of the game right here. If you've ever noticed with this game, there's like 1 or 2 plays I've noticed, maybe 3, that are the most important plays of the game, to be honest. Sometimes you can misplay and you're able to still pick up after yourself after a misplay and still come back and win. So he discards, look at it, looks like a improvised shield and a bashing shield because he knows he doesn't need it right now. Looks like Burgos does not have any armors. I guess Burgos was kind of future planning to have a sparring gear, so he wouldn't have a armor to play. Oh, excuse me. So when he played his armor later, that he would be safe, but looks like that never worked out. And so now Brett's just not worried about it. He's gonna get rid of the bashing shield. And even if Burgos does happen to draw into a armor later, I'm sure Brett still has the other untap in his hand. So he's going to flip. Okay, so a couple things happen here. He played Escape Route on Bumblebee. He's not choosing to play a second action. He's going to... Well, either way, I see he already shuffled his hand, so I'm not going to worry about it at this point. I was going to stop him to say, did you want to use Bumblebee's effect? But I think he knows. I think he knows the window of timing, how it works. So he did flip. He did find a flip card, the Espionage, to... No, I'm sorry. Why do I keep wanting to call Escape Route Espionage? Don't mind me. Found the Escape Route to flip B to alt mode, and he has a Turbo Booster. So he ended up finding the Turbo Booster. I don't know if he drew it for turn or he drew it to all the confidence, but either way, he found it. But what's unfortunate here is that he has no opportunity to play another action this turn, so he's gonna have to send Cliff Jumper in like this for 5, maybe 7. Burgos does flip 2 whites to start. He does maintain the rapid conversions, as we can see. Okay, that's respectable. The Cliff Jumper's attacking for 9, so this will be his last chance to get some decent damage. Burgos looks like he has 5 defense, so he's gonna live by 1. Yep, should put him at 7. Doesn't really matter here though. You want to just get as much damage on the pieces as possible. There are certain turns where you want to just straight up kill a combiner piece, but for the most part it's just about getting as much damage as possible. So if we look at the characters right now, we know that Superion at least has 15 health because Silverbolt and Air Raid are undamaged at 7 and 8 respectively. The Skydive has 7 damage on it, Firefly has 7, so that's 14. And then we got 8 on Alpha Bravo, so 14, we got 22 damage total. Yep, 7, 7, and 8. And then, of course, when Superion is combined, finally, you're able to deal 3 damage to an enemy. I could see him dealing 3 damage to the Bumblebee, but then, it only takes 1 more attack to kill the bee. And then he'll also be able to get some decent damage on Cliff Jumper this turn here. So Brett's next turn, he has the way he has his hand right now. I hope he's looking to see, the best possible way he can play this, his next turn out. He's going to need to get some big damage here, because this might be one of his last chances to get some solid damage. We do know that Burgos has a Nobles Blaster and an unknown card in his hand. If he did draw a sparring gear or reinforced plating, that'll be really good for him, because he doesn't need to be at 8 attack this turn with the Nobles Blaster to deal with the Cliff Jumper. 6 attack is definitely enough. It'll be fine. The armor will probably be more valuable if he did draw one, so we'll see if he drew one or not. Assuming he's decided on who to deal the 3 damage to. He's actually going to deal with the Cliff Jumper. Okay. So I guess I can see his line of play here as well. You know what? The 8 attack does still KO the Bumblebee, but 8 minus 1 is 7. Well, that'll put him at 15. That'll put him one over. So Brett would need to flip 2 blues. So I take that back. I guess that also works as well. Now that I'm looking at the math and seeing that B is at 8 damage already, so gonna attack into the Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is going to. Oh, he has what is that? Pierce 3, Tough 2, Bold 1. So he flipped 1 extra. No belligerent, so these attacks will probably never do anything crazy. I don't. It looks like he's not even playing sparring gear. It looks like I don't know. I don't remember seeing any sparring gears at all. So he's attacking for 8 Pierce 3 here. That's some solid damage on that Cliff Jumper. Now he puts Burgos in a position where both his characters can die to a single attack. So this turn right here is going to be huge for Brett. Brett needs Erratic Lightning, Reckless Charge, or something to that effect this turn. Reckless Charge doesn't put it. Reckless Charge puts the Bumblebee at 11, and Burgos, besides the Inferno Breath, which I don't even think he could play anymore. I think Inferno Breath, you have to tap a 5-star or lower. So there's no other 3 damage card that Burgos can play to kill the Bumblebee outside of battle. So him taking 3 damage off of Reckless Charge won't be bad at all. But the thing is, I'm not sure if Brett is playing Reckless Charge. So if it's not Reckless Charge, he needs like Erratic Lightning Supercharge, Turbo Booster, and an action, a power, like a pump action of some sort would be good here as well. But that's what kind of turn Brett needs this turn. Like there are some turns where you hold off on others. All your turns can't be efficient. As you can see, like a lot of Brett's turns weren't efficient because he was kind of action. He was upgrade flooded for a while, and it looks like he still is. Like he played like Escape Route twice throughout the match and a Confidence. That's really, I want to say something else. That's really about it. He hasn't played many like strong actions this game, which is unfortunate. He could also, if he has a Piece of Tyranny, he could also Piece of Tyranny this turn. But then he's really banking on trying to deal 17 damage to Superion. Now, 22. So 17 damage to Superion. Superion has 39 health total. He could potentially Piece to Tyranny, but he needs like Erratic Lightning. If he has Piece to Tyranny, he needs to have Erratic Lightning as well to get 2 strong attacks. But I don't even know if that's still going to be enough, unfortunately. Like, there's nothing you can do about the tough on Superion. So, Brett is in a pretty rough spot here. He does have the turbo boosters though. Okay, so that's a good start. I'm not sure which mode Prowl is in, but if he does flip the Cliff Jumper here, he can get an extra attack. I think, yeah, you know what? Prowl did die in card mode, so he can flip the Cliff Jumper here and be at 6 base attack, 7 with the turbo booster. If you guys hear anything in the background, I'm shuffling cards as I'm watching this. Made this triple threat. So these are one of those turns where I don't blame Brett for tanking at. Not that I'm rushing him or anything or wish he would speed up. They've been playing at a solid pace, but these are one of those turns where you definitely have to tank because there's a couple of, since I've been playing this game, I noticed there's like not a ton of turns that you should have to tank on. This is one of those, and I don't blame him, especially because he's down right now. But he is doing the Cliff Jumper flip, and okay, so I just realized since he played the turbo booster, he unfortunately doesn't have another upgrade that he's going to be able to play. Now, what this does do is he did discard a action to draw 2 cards. What he'll be able to actually do here, at least, is next turn flip the Bumblebee to car mode, which gives Cliff Jumper another attack. But he really needs to get some solid attacks here. So he's attacking for 8, and looks like he. What is that, 24, 25? So he only took 3 damage from that attack, which is decent. And then the Cliff Jumper is going to go in as well. Burgos' flips are insane to start. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7 defense, and Cliff Jumper's attacking for 9, so he's only going to take 2 here. Brett needed to flip some of his double oranges to kind of negate the fact that, Burgos flipped a couple of his double blues, so that was really good for him. So they're going to take 2 there, and he's at 30, so he does have 9 health left, but now this puts Brett on a clock, and he has to deal 9 damage on this next turn. So his next turn has to be all out, supercharge, Erratic Lightning, go in, go crazy. So we'll see. Oh, well, that might not happen because Burgos does play sparring gear, and he found a sparring gear. I don't know if he top decked it or just had it, but either way, it's on the field now. And now Superion's at 8 attack and 1 defense with tough 4. Tough 4 is a good bit to get through, and that's a tough nut to crack. And unfortunately now, like, I don't even know if a grenade launcher, supercharge, or whatever. I don't even know if grenade launcher reckless might be enough, but I don't think Brett's playing reckless charge. We'll have to see. But also keep in mind, something that I should have mentioned in the beginning, forgive me for this, these matches from now on, all of my finals matches in my tournaments will be a best 3 out of 5. And we're going off of EI rules. So how I worked that EI in the top 8 was that, oh man, flip 2 double oranges on defense. That's really unfortunate for Brett. But how it worked at the Energon Invitational back in 2019 was that so he attacked Cliff Jumper, is that you have to play the first 2 games without side decking. Then game 3, you're able to side deck like normal. So the first 2 games, no side deck. Game 3, loser will decide if they go on first or second. Then the winner will decide if they're going to swap bots or not. Then the loser will decide if they're going to swap bots or not. And then you go accordingly through game 4 and 5 if needed. So I figured I'd give the finals guys, a little bit more of a challenge to get through these games. Of course, sometimes depending on the matchup, some matchups may have more advantage than the other because you're not able to side deck until game 3. But hey, it is what it is. You got all the way to the finals. You do what you can to get that dub. These are not timed as well, by the way. But they're playing at a solid pace though, so I'm not sweating that. I Still Function. Okay, so I Still Function is pretty solid, but he needs Bashing Shield here, and I feel like he does have a Bashing Shield because he got rid of one earlier with that's actually pretty big. He got rid of one earlier with Confidence earlier in his deck, but he's over halfway through his deck at this point. I wonder, looks like he's gonna play a weapon. Oh no, okay, the way he puts it, I take that back. So he does have Bashing Shield here. That's actually pretty big. There's a potential, keep in mind, Burgos flipped 2 of his double blues already last turn. Okay, Brett's not done yet. He's actually gonna flip Bumblebee and play a supercharge off of the bot mode. So he actually gets a chance to use it, ironically, on the last turn was pretty much his last turn, because Superion will probably, well actually he might not even KO next turn, but yeah, that was a pretty good flip. That was actually huge. So the Cliff Jumper has 6 attack, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 into Superion, blocking for 5. It's gonna take 7. And I think that might end up being a game, because if he was at 30, right? I think he was at 30. He's at 34. Yeah, so okay, I take that back. B has to, this really rides on what the B swings for here. Burgos' flip is pretty good. It flips a white to extend. Oh, another white. Okay, he got a blue. Let's see what he ended up getting here. They got 2, 4, 5, 6 defense. And I feel like he didn't get there. 37. Wow, he missed by 2. That was unfortunate. The Cliff Jumper was able to swing really big, but unfortunately B was not able to get there. But now we have to see, okay, so this rides on a couple things. Brett does play a good bit of blues in his deck. He has the rollouts, he has Start Your Engines. So Superion's only attacking for 8 here. If Brett flips a blue, which he did. So he flipped, is that enough? 8 minus 4, take 4. Yeah, 9. Yeah, 13. He actually misses by 1. That was really good. Flipping that Start Your Engines was huge there. He goes to 13 and lives by 1. That was really important for him to flip that Start Your Engines there. That really worked out. And with no sparring gear, Brett actually might be able to get there on his next turn. He'll flip back to bot mode, guaranteed. Have 7 base attack. And I guess he forgot to flip 1 for bold 1. 7 base attack, and I'm pretty sure he still has that other erratic lightning in his hand. And if he drew into another action, this game should be over here. So 35 health. He only has to deal 4. No, even better. He has grenade launcher supercharge, and that's definitely gonna do it. He got 11 with bold 3. Burrows flips pretty good. What's that? 3, 4, 5, 6. He has 6, but you can see right now that the 11 that Bumblebee has without even flips is enough to kill Superion. So that's actually going to be game. All right, so it looks like game 2 is underway, and it looks like Brett drew 3 cards. So it looks like Burgos is going to be going first. He's going to start with flipping Alva Bravo here, and probably sending in Skydive, which is a very strong opening move, because Skydive will be able to get, and maybe, well, I take it back. He might be able to get 1 damage here, because again, Brett does play the blues. We saw the blues save him game 1. So Skydive's going to attack here into, probably doesn't matter. Brett's not playing any Energon axes, so Lead of Faith will not extend into a blue on his flips, his 2 extra flips. And he actually gets 2 damage in here, so that was actually kind of important. That was pretty good. Not necessarily important, but that was better than average. Normally, Skydive will just get into 1, but being that he flipped that orange, how he did, that was, similar to how Brett flipping the blue on defense to save him. This orange on attack here was actually pretty solid, because he got in 2 damage instead of 1 on the Bumblebee. So Brett's going to draw for turn. Only 2 damage on the Bumblebee, so he's probably fine sending in Bumblebee here. It's still his definite, most strongest, opening play. So he's going to flip B, draw 1 card for Cliff Jumper. Gonna play a Nobles Blaster on Bumblebee. So Bumblebee is sitting at 8 attack, no pierce, of course, because this is the all red finals. Shout out to the red squads. Gonna pitch a press the advantage, not great in this matchup. It is still a +2, but probably be more useful to dig for cards with the Bumblebee. You're gonna attack for 8, 10, 11. So 11's pretty good into the Skydive. Skydive on average, you know, probably defend at least 5, but it looks like you're gonna defend 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So gonna take 5. So that's pretty solid damage on the character that has, you know, tough 2. I mean, you know, he does have 1 defense, but 5 is still pretty solid. Bumblebee definitely made the attack worth it. We do have a Nobles Blaster here from Burgos. He trades an Energon for it. Makes sense because he's not playing any one-shot stand, one-shot falls, and you know, he's not gonna play. Well, I guess there's no other card. I'm thinking Kami Crash, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a ways away. So he doesn't have really any solid ways to damage himself right now. And Brett's also not playing any cards like Arm Hovercraft or you know, any other really direct damage. Like, you know, he uses the power of the card deck and be able to do his untaps. I don't think he's playing much direct damage, if at all. He might be playing a Zap or 2, but I don't remember seeing any. See what Burgos decides to do here. Will he be able to get any damage in this turn? If he sends anybody in but Fireflight, you know, Brett's just going to go after the guy that's not Skydive and get a lot of damage on it. So he probably has to send Fireflight here, but let's see if he has the Inferno Breath or, you know, something to put on the Fireflight. Bigger they are, I guess bigger there will be at least 3 Pierce 3. He's going to flip Silverbolt, deal 1 damage to Bumblebee. I guess he's seeing that Bumblebee. It was definitely really solid for him last game. I guess he did put a lot of damage on Bumblebee, but I do think that he should have put that 3 extra damage on Bumblebee and not Cliff Jumper from game 1. I think that would have mattered. I see what his line of play was, but as we can see, that ended up not working out. And Brett having that ISF and getting 2 attacks like he did with the Bash and shit was really good. And he would have been able to kill that Bumblebee. And Cliff Jumper is not as much of a threat, obviously, as B. I'm gonna play a Vaporize on the Nobles Blaster on the Bumblebee. So even if he does untap, he will not get any type of value out of that. But he's going to attack with his Fireflight. Even if Fireflight flips 1 orange here, which he probably won't, he's not going to get anything here. And Brett flips a blue anyway, so that attack is blunted. But it's for the greater good. Fireflight's going to have tough 2 with that sparring gear, and you know he has Brave. So, and there's nothing to stop Brave in up to wave 2. So not going to be able to do anything with that. He was thinking about getting the Nobles Blaster, but he decides against it. He does have 3 cards in his hand. Brett's looking like he has like 6 cards in hand. Gonna be 7 when he flips the Prowl, unless he has Start Your Engines here. Start Your Engines would actually be pretty strong here. Probably like the best case scenario for Brett here is like Start Your Engines Bashing Shield, because Start Your Engines will flip the Bumblebee back to alt mode, untap it, flip it back, draw a card for Cliff Jumper, play Bashing Shield on the Bumblebee. Like, if you can get multiple swings out of this Bumblebee like that, he's doing so much work. He's definitely just the obvious workhorse here. Of course, Cliff Jumper and Prowl are both great support characters, but of course your Bumblebee is your muscle here. So he decides to flip Prowl, and he's going to draw a card for Cliff Jumper. And he does have to Start Your Engines, which is very good here. So he's going to untap, he's going to flip all of his cars or his bots to car mode, and then untap his Bumblebee, which will give the Prowl, give all of his cars Bolt 3. And he does have the Bashing Shield here, which is really good as well. So he has the Bashing Shield on the sparring gear, and he's going to send in this Bumblebee, and Bumblebee has Bolt 5. So 5 Bolt 5 here is going to be pretty solid. Now, Burgos did flip a pretty good defense here. He has 5 defense, but wow. Yeah, I take that back. It does not matter. We got, I don't even know, 2, 4, 6, 8, like 15, I think. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 16 into Fireflight. So 1 shot in the Fireflight was actually really big there. That was really good for him. Geez, can't complain about that one at all. Flipped the double oranges when he needed to. That was a very strong play, displaying the power of the cards deck. Well, you know, especially with Lieutenant Bumblebee. So 1 shot of the Fireflight was huge here, because now he doesn't have to waste any more attacks into the Fireflight. And now Brett gets free range on any of his characters, which is big. So Burgos is kind of, I won't say down and out. He has 12 total damage on Superion right now, but he's definitely going to have to do some, you know, having his last play blunted, and now that the Bumblebee has 3 defense, Burgos is definitely going to need a Nobles Blaster or a, you know, bigger they are here. Air Raid's attack is not going to be as good either. Now, granted, yes, it will get rid of an upgrade. Getting rid of an upgrade is getting rid of an upgrade, but he definitely needs to do something solid here this turn. He'll need a strong play here this turn. So otherwise, you know, the rest of these Airbots have such weak defense, they can definitely take a lot of damage, which is going to be good for, you know, the card deck in the end to have a lot of damage on the Superion. pre-combined. Decides to play the Nobles Blaster on air raid, and is going to send the air raid in. No action play, looks like. And he's going to get at least 3 damage on the Bumblebee and scrap the Bastion Shield. That Bastion Shield definitely would have got value over the course of the game. Having 3 defense was so huge because, like, the rest of, you know, Burgos' guys only have 3 attack. So he literally has to play, like, bigger they are or a weapon or something on them in order to do something. So, this will be a huge turn for Brett if he has another untap. Having 2 untaps is pretty good. It's not necessarily a nail in the coffin, but this B is getting so much work in. He doesn't even have half, he's not even at half damage. He still has only 6 damage on him. So B is still pretty healthy. He's not in danger mode whatsoever. Can't get killed in any type of out of combat damage or anything like that. So it's going to be pretty good here. But he is going to flip the Bumblebee, so that means no turbo booster. Flipping the Bumblebee will allow him to draw another card from Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper is not once per turn. Burgos has another untap here. Like I was saying, he has another Start Your Engine, so pretty good. He's gonna flip B, and he's gonna do the same play again. So 2 Start Your Engines he's seen, and 2 supercharges here. So flipping the B to draw a card, and then flipping it back, allowing him to play another action due to Lieutenant B's alt mode effect, will allow him to play the second action, again, which he played a supercharge. Maybe he's debating on if he needs to play an upgrade. He probably doesn't, depending on who he swings with. If he swings with Cliff Jumper, we can imagine that the Cliff Jumper will at least have about 9 attack to Burgos's 2, maybe 3 defense. So he should be getting between like 5 damage to a KO here. He also may need to potentially just, I think one of the other things that he may want to do, which I think he potentially also realizes, not having to sink 2 attacks into the same guy unless it's Firefly, because you have to. But he might actually want to play an upgrade here, like a weapon. Yep, he plays a grenade launcher to definitely get rid of the air raid here, because again, just like I said, game 1, getting rid of a character that has an upgrade sets the combiner player back a good bit. And that's definitely going to be more than enough. We got the 8, we got 10 without the grenade launcher. And he actually still would have KO'd it. So it's not necessarily a waste of a grenade launcher. He had to guarantee getting rid of it because he didn't have to waste another attack into it. Because if he left it on 1, having to waste any of your attacks into a character on 1 never feels good. Not in matchups like these. Or not in matchups where aggro decks playing decks like these, you know, the aerial bot deck. So if you're attacking like an Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend that's left that 1, you'll gladly sink another attack into him because he's your, you know, your main guy. He's your best guy most of the time. So all the time. Who am I kidding? So sitting pretty well right here. He has 8 damage and Firefly 7. So it's at about 20 damage. He's about 20 damage on the Superion in total right now. Keep in mind, they were not able to side deck yet, so they're still dealing with game 1s, and Cars is sitting pretty well off right now. So Burgos, I guess Brett has seen his Piece of Tyranny, but he didn't play it. But Burgos has not played a security checkpoint all game here. And now that I honestly think about it, checkpoint would have really set Brett back last game. So there's no way Burgos can find the checkpoint. He has to just literally draw into it. Now, you know, like, unlike Battlefield Legend, who can just flip and grab it back. But yeah, he does have espionage, but that's not necessarily good enough. Checkpoint would probably, definitely change the game at some point, especially game 1 if he had one. But we still haven't seen any checkpoints from him. He's been flipping them on defense, you know, where you technically want him to as well. But we do have a reinforced plating on the, Silver Bolt here. Gonna deal at least 1 damage to the prowl. But so we got how many more characters left here? Looks like he has one more character to flip. He has a skydive. So Burgos is in a solid defensive position right here. Both of the characters that Brett is able to attack both have tough 2 right now. So, you know, if Brett does have a Bastion Shield, he looks like he just shuffled one back into his deck. Not sure if he has a second one or not, but if he does, he can easily just get rid of that reinforced plating on the Silver Bolt, and then, you know, if he has another action to play, great, and attack into the Silver Bolt and get a lot, you know, more damage accountability into the overall grand bot that is Superion. Now, does he have a third untap? A third untap would be absurd. Not seeing any game 1, right? I think he saw a turbo booster late game, but seeing 1, I think maybe 2, I think it was just 1 into seeing well, he saw 1 in an ISF, into seeing like a potential 3 untaps here would be really, really good. This will definitely display the power of the card deck. And it's not over because, well, it's not over. We'll see, because he drew 1 for flipping Bumblebee for the Cliff Jumper, and that's going to dig 2 more cards in. He's going to get rid of the useless improvised shield, and not sure. Okay, so the rest of his hand is pretty solid because he's tanking on what the second card to send is. So everybody pause the video and guess what he's going to discard. He's really tanking on this. Discarding the press day advantage. Okay, doesn't seem great here. It is +2, but the rest of his cards are got to be better than that. So also something to keep in mind is like he can keep potentially dangling Cliff Jumper out there. When Prowl is in bot mode, he'll be able to heal his Bumblebee for 3, which will actually be huge. It'll literally just negate the 3 that Superion deals. So something to think about, or something to note that could potentially happen throughout the later parts of this game. So also the confidence, he's gonna play a Starter Engine. So he did find a 3rd untap, which is pretty good here. Pretty good. He's getting a lot of value out of that B. That Incentive B is putting in so much work. Now he's not going to play another action off of this, but he is going to have the Bashing Shield here, which is going to, you know, disallow Burgos to have tough 2, but he's going to flip at least 2 defense, so that helps. And Cliff Jumper is going to be attacking for 7, so he's going to take 5 here. Or 4, I guess. Oh yeah, he has 1 defense, my bad. 3, yeah, I forgot. He doesn't have 0. Like, the only guy that has 0 defense is Air Raid. I knew that. So we got Fireflight and Air Raid in the KO, that's 15. And we got 9 more here, so we got 24. So the obvious play here is going to be to flip your last guy. He didn't flip his last guy, Skydive. We're going to play the Superion, the Area Bot Enigma, and it's going to deal 3 damage to somebody. Nobody's in range of anything right now. You know, the card player is Brett. He's looking pretty solid here. Even if you deal 3 damage to Bumblebee, what you can do is future tense your turn, future plan rather, and deal 3 damage to B to put him at 9. And then on your next turn, you definitely need an Energon Axe or a Nolos Blaster to clap the Bumblebee and just get rid of it, which will definitely be huge. So, and that's exactly what he decides to do. 24 damage on Superion, so he has 15 left, so he's looking decent right now. He's gonna armor up with the reinforced plating. Now I think so. Brett didn't have he flipped a Starter Engines, which is potentially relevant here, and Burrows did not flip an orange, so he's only gonna take 4 damage here. Put him the Cliff Jumper at 5. Now, okay, can we go for a 4th untap? Who's with me? A 4th untap. Does he have another Starter Engines? Well, no, he played 2. Well, he did a reshuffle as well, so there is potential for a Starter Engines, but that's less likely than a Turbo Booster. Turbo Booster would be kind of crazy here, but not the craziest. But what I wanted to really talk about was the Bashing Shield. So I wonder if he was able to race back to his 2nd Bashing Shield. I think he's only playing 2. It seems like he was only playing 2. He did have one in the scrap pile earlier, but he did reshuffle. And as you can see, he was holding on to another Bashing Shield. Let's see if he does have another one. I think he's obviously figured the value of his opponent's armors this game. He has an escape route, so that's not that, but that'll give bold 2. So it's bold 4 efficiently across the board, which is pretty good. So bold 4, we got a B that's 9 bold 2, and then the Prowl attack's probably not going to do anything. So this B attack's definitely going to have to try to do something here. And Burgos flips pretty well here. But so does Brett. So we got 9, 12, 13, 14. So 14 is pretty strong here. That's definitely can. We got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So he's going to be at least taking 6 minimum, but he does have tough 2, and 2 for the white. So if he flips 2 more blues here, I think he'll be taking at least 6 and put him at 30. I guess he's giving his opponent the same respect that he did earlier. Sure. I guess it's kind of like let your opponent at ease that, you know, you're not cheating or anything. But I mean, I don't think they did this at all game 1, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. Plus we got viewers, so, but it's all good. Okay, so it looks like he's at least taking 6. We got 3, 6, 9. No, I can't count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 defense. So he's gonna take 4 there. Pretty good. He's only at 28. He still has 11 health with tough 4. Now Prowl's also going to go in here as well. I think it'd be really important for Burgos not to take any more than 1 damage here, if any. It looks like he's taking none. 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 defense. Prowl's only has 7, so he's going to blunt that attack, which is actually really big. And then he also has, so he's going to, okay, Burgos, not Burgos, Brett's going to trade a rollout for a Batch and Shield, which is important. And it looks like Burgos got the Noble's Blaster. I was staring, of course, at one screen again, but we'll see when he plays it here. So you're gonna play the Armed Hovercraft, or excuse me, it's the Airabot Enigma, but once you're already Superion, you're able to deal 1 damage to every character. This will definitely, oh, okay, see, he didn't get it because I'm assuming he didn't get it because he has an Energon Axe, which is gonna be pretty good here. So Energon Axe is definitely gonna probably get rid of the Bumblebee here. Bumblebee definitely gets got by Pierce 5 here. Energon Axe giving Pierce 2, then of course Superion has his innate Bull 3, or I'm sorry, Pierce 3. 10 minus 2, no, 10 minus 3 would be 7, so he wouldn't even get the, oh no, he would get Cliff Jumper if he attacked into it. Not that he was going to, I don't blame him for not attacking into it. So, okay, so this turn's actually going to be pretty important. So Superion has 24 damage on it, no, 28 damage on it. So there's 11 health left, and he's definitely probably going to lose the reinforced plating on his next turn. Burgos should make his reinforced plating more visible because it kind of, I mean, Brett can also just ask, but it kind of looks hidden, like he doesn't have a second upgrade, kind of, sort of. I know that's not necessarily the case, but probably should have them separate so you can visibly see the picture of the card. But it's all good. I'm sure Brett literally picked up the Bash and Shield, so I'm not going to say anything because they should be fine. Gonna play ISF, so he's gonna play, I wonder how many ISF functions he's playing, because he's seeing it again here in this game too, and he's gonna have 3 attacks here, so that's actually probably gonna be pretty good. And the way that did he flip anybody? I wonder, did he flip Prowl? I'm assuming he flipped, yeah, he flipped Prowl because he was in alt mode last time. So okay, so Cliff Jumper is gonna be attacking for 8. Burgos is gonna block for 2, 4, 5, 6, so he's gonna take 2 damage there, and he's gonna be at 30. Then Prowl's gonna attack for 4. That's probably gonna get blocked. I wonder if he could have saved that ISF, because that doesn't seem like a good ISF here. Yes, he had the Bashing Shield, but like 2 attacks just got, well, I'd say that 1 attack got, oh no, he, can I not count? Oh, he must have flipped a lot of double oranges there. I can't see because of the glare. So, well, he did get at least 2 damage in. So Burgos had, what, 5? But it looks like Prowl, he had about 7 or 8. No, he didn't flip a bunch. Well, I guess he flipped 7. Okay, whatever. But that's still pretty good, progressing on attacks, you know, getting in some damage. It'd be very valuable for Burgos to blunt this attack here, which he's probably going to do. Brett flipped a blue this time on defense, and yeah, Burgos has like 7 or 8 defense, so he's definitely going to block that Bumblebee attack. So now this next turn is also very important for Burgos. Burgos, it looks like Prowl. Oh, okay. I take that back. That was actually a pretty solid turn. Excuse the hell out of me. Upstart Goblin, Jesus Christ. Shout out to Christian. I don't know what I'm thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Man, I get so excited that I'm thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh. So the ISF, what it did was, since it KO'd the Bumblebee while it was in car mode, it allowed Prowl, who's in bot mode, which I did mention earlier, I just missed the play, but to heal the Cliff Jumper by 3, which is actually really big here because now the Cliff Jumper is not in range of being KO'd by Superion. But as we can also see, the Superion, or Burgos, also has a sparring gear. So, and as you can also see, he was, as you can see, yeah, 1-on-1. There are 2 Bastion Shields out in the field, and I don't think Brett is maining 3. So now that sparring gear is probably going to stick, and let's see who he attacks. This is actually getting pretty interesting. This is getting down to the nitty gritty. The sparring gears for that tough are like so important and so valuable here. Prowl is going to be very strong here on this next turn. Prowl has 3 defense right now. Superion is swinging for 9 pierce 5 to the 3 defense on Prowl will be at least 6. So Prowl's definitely going to live, and Prowl's going to be able to flip back to alt mode on the next turn potentially and give both of his cards Bold 2 again. So this game turned out to actually end up being pretty interesting, and no direct, you know, clear winners in right at this moment. But okay, he decided to attack in the cliff jumper. So what it sets up is the fact that he doesn't have to attack in the cliff jumper 2 more times. Or not 2 more times, I'm sorry. He only has to attack into the cliff jumper 1 more time. So Brett's kind of on a clock here. That sparring gear is going to be very valuable. He does have a Noble's Blaster, so that does help a little bit. And he does have supercharge. Okay, so I think it's safe to say he's not playing any reckless charges at this point. But he's going to try to override that, override the, you know, sparring gear with the tough 4 and just try to push for this last bit of damage here. Burgos is going to block for 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And that Prowl is going to be attacking for 8. And man, that was okay. So that was actually really crazy because the Prowl swung for 8, but the Superion also blocked for 8, which is huge. Flipping those 2 double oranges like that. Of course, you don't know what your cards are going to be unless you're playing Master Plan and you're playing for 6. But flipping those 2 double oranges like that was really unfortunate. You know, because now, I mean, he does still have 4 in his deck, you know, to potentially flip. He is reshuffling. So that's something to note. Oh, he had more flips. Okay. Okay, so he's swinging for 9. So he's gonna actually get 1 damage in here. So we got 32. He's gonna take 1. Yep. Now he's at 35. Oh, he's actually at 35. He was higher than what I thought. 12 and 12, 24, 30. He is at 30, 33. 33. Jesus Christ, I can't count. 33. So he has 6 more health left. This attack might decide the game. If he can get there on this attack, it might just be over. Okay, improvised shield. Looks like he has like 15. And Burgos is blocking for 7, so he's going to take 8, and I think that might be game if I'm looking at it correctly. 33 should be 41. It should be a little over game. Yeah, 41. All right, yeah, and Brett's gonna end up getting there. That was a big attack. Big and great use of the Prowl was huge. Prowl heal with that I still function was very good on his part, and that was probably the deciding factor of the game. Again, I said before, you know, there are a lot of times where there's that one play in the game that can make or break you, and that play is rare. You don't normally see Prowl being used in that way. Normally, it's your opponent dealing with it, but he was able to use the Prowl to heal there, which was huge because, you know, it just negated a lot of things and kept him out of range of dying on that last attack. So it was definitely pretty big. So now what happens is going into game 3, Burgos will decide if he's going first or second, as usual, and then Brett will decide if he's going to side deck a bot or not, and then so will Burgos. So it looks like they're not doing that because it looks like Brett is diving for a side deck, so he's not changing any bots. And I'm not sure if Burgos is going to be siding into a bot, probably not, but now they can both dive into their 10 battle side deck battle cards. All right, so we are getting into game 3. Now, game 3, it looks like Brett is going to be going second again. Burgos decides to go first. And keep in mind now, they didn't clearly side deck any bots, but they were able to side deck battle cards. So we'll see how this game goes. One thing I will say, so the fact that Brett is able to see so many cards with the power of, in support of Cliff Jumper, and then, you know, of course, Bumblebee's effect as well, he's able to see cards a lot faster, you know, than Burgos is allowed to see. Burgos, I think, does play a data bank, but I don't think he's playing any pep talks or anything like that to draw into more cards. So or security consoles or anything like that. I think security console would have been really solid for his deck as well. I haven't seen one from these 2 games or any other games I've seen him play throughout Swiss. So his draw power is pretty low, but I will say, like, he again still hasn't seen any checkpoints, so you don't have to necessarily have draw cards to just simply draw a card from your deck. So let's see if Burgos is able to play any checkpoints this game and see how you know, helpful it'll be, because I imagine if he can get a checkpoint going and get rid of Brett's especially any of his upgrades, but definitely any of those bashing shields, while Burgos gets to keep any of his armors, it'll definitely change the face of this game and try to get Burgos back into this game. Because right now it's looking at it's 2-0 for Brett in his card deck. So he wins this one, and that'll be the end of the tournament because, of course, best 3 out of 5, you have to win 3 games. So he's going to start with sending in Fireflight here. Now, sending in Fireflight this time is pretty interesting. So he knows he's not going to get much damage here. That actually is pretty solid too. I agree because, well, I think because the fact that Brett flipped a blue here on defense. Not that he knew his opponent was going to do that, and I'm sure he wasn't even thinking of that. But what this actually sets up is if Brett can't KO the Firefly on this following turn here, that'll be very important because he'll have to attack into the Firefly again for not as much value. So, and again, I haven't seen any direct damage from Brett, so we'll see how that ends up working out. So he's going to open with flipping Bumblebee and drawing a card with Cliff Jumper, and then playing Supercharge. Definitely a solid opening. He's going to scrap Peace through Tyranny and draw 2 cards. So he drew 3 cards already on his first turn. Pretty good. He's going to be swinging for 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 into Firefly. Firefly defended big here. The Firefly defended for 6. So he's going to take 5 here. And I don't think it's safe to say that Brett's not playing any Plasma Burst. He could be also playing potentially, well, he could have been, but he's probably also not playing Marksmanship. And I take that back. Marksmanship wouldn't do anything because it has to deal 2 damage to an enemy in bot mode. So Firefly's sitting pretty. Is that a thing? Sitting very well here, I should say. And it's looking pretty good because now he can send Skydive in, or actually any of his characters in. He could even send potentially Alpha Bravo here to get more damage in. And the fact that Brett has to attack into the Firefly again is actually pretty big because the maximum damage that Brett will be able to do here this turn is 2. Hey, so like I was talking about, he's playing swap missions. That's interesting. So he sided in swap missions, but it does have the checkpoint, and he's going to get rid of a Bashing Shield and, oh yeah, wow, 2 ISFs. So 2 ISFs, a Bolt of Lightning, and an Espionage. So, of course, the time that Burgos sees a checkpoint, he has another one in his hand, first of all, and then he doesn't hit anything but a Bashing Shield out of Brett's hand. Now, granted, Bashing Shield is still pretty solid here. It looks like Brett's going to write down... Burgos' hand here. That's what it looks like he's doing, leaning over, and the fact that Burgos still has his hand shown on the screen. So swap missions is interesting here with not having like Battlefield Legend or whatever, you know, in the side. He is side decking Battlefield Legend, so not putting that in as well. That's interesting that he's doing that. But so we got Escape Route, 2 ISFs, and and I forgot what that last card was, but yeah, the fact that there's no counter espionage or anything to get besides a disruptive entrance to get rid of opponents, you know, blank actions, those ISFs are, I'm pretty sure, going to come in handy throughout the course of this game. So, but at least we also do know that Brett doesn't have any upgrades right now, so Burgos is not like in danger right now. But that's unfortunate that he wasn't able to, you know, get a good bit of value, more value out of the checkpoint. But getting a 1-for-1, you know, you play your checkpoint, that's your 1, and getting rid of one of your opponent's cards, you know, better than nothing. All right, so it looks like the Skydive attack then got 1 damage. I can't really tell what that damage counter is on that Bumblebee, but Brett's going to draw for turn. We do know he has 2 ISFs and an Escape Route in his hand. Again, I forgot the other cards. But we know he has no upgrades at the moment. And he does have blue upgrades. He does have, or he has green upgrades rather. He does have a 2nd Bashing Shield, maybe a 3rd. I don't know if he sided a 3rd. And then at least a Noble's Blaster for sure, so it's not like he'll be out of weapons forever. Again, he has to attack into the Firefly here this turn. So I don't remember him having Starcher Engines in his hand, but either way, having Starcher Engines here is pretty good. And he's also going to play Bolt of Lightning off of that Bumblebee flip. So playing the Bolt of Lightning actually is huge here. I forgot that he had that. That's what he had. So he had Bolt of Lightning, and Bolt actually got rid of the Firefly here, which is going to allow him to be able to attack into whoever he wants. So he's going to swing with a Power Punch with the Cliff Jumper here this turn into Skydive. Skydive's blocking 5. Cliff Jumper's attacking for 2, 4, 6, 8 of 13. So is he going to... Oh no, he flipped the handheld blaster. Okay, so he lives by 1 here. That actually ended up really working out. Yeah, that Bumblebee's been putting in a lot of work this tournament. Excuse me, not this tournament. This game, this match rather. So Brett has an option for a Bashing Shield here. He's going to trade. Okay, so he is playing Espionage. That's what he did have in his hand earlier, not Escape Route. He traded that Espionage for an Escape Route. For a Bashing Shield rather, his 2nd Bashing Shield notably. And Burgos did also, looks like he's getting his Noble's Blaster. Now do keep in mind that I think Brett tanked on potentially getting that Bashing Shield because he does know that Burgos has another checkpoint in his hand, and that actually might just be solid it's a 1-for-1, but you know what, giving that Bashing Shield twice over might actually just be strong enough, you know. So he is going to get rid of Marksmanship here, which I think is a perfectly fine play to at least have a weapon. Well, you know what? I take that back. He has a weapon on his Alpha Bravo, so I don't know if he really had to do that. But You know, he's going to get rid of the Bastion Shield here, potentially with the checkpoint, but the problem is he also, you know, doesn't have an armor to play. So, like, any upgrade, any character that gets attacked this next turn, even if it's Skydive, are going to, you know, get a pretty solid hurting on him. So, he probably will end up sending in, you know, Air Raid or Silver Bowl here, probably Silver Bowl, because he could probably still get some value out of Air Raid on the following turn to be able to potentially scrap an upgrade. It looks like, I want to say Nova's Blaster is on that Alpha Bravo. Also, the thing is, you know, potentially Burgos getting that Nobles Blaster, he could have potentially drawn into another upgrade, which would really hurt here. Well, I take that back, it wouldn't really hurt because he's not pressed to play the checkpoint this turn anyway, because if he doesn't have an armor, then it doesn't matter for him the checkpoint, so he can actually just hold it. But he is thumbing the Nobles Blaster, so it looks like he's probably going to play it. He needs to definitely get some damage out here this turn, so I don't blame him. You're going to have two Nobles Blaster out, so even when you combine, you can only keep one of them. Somebody's probably going to die anyway, and he's not going to be able to have both of them anyway, or, you know, the option or whatever, so it doesn't matter either way. But he does need to get some solid damage here. Air Raid does have 6 attack, well, 5 attack technically, but when he flips it, he should have 6 attack. And he is going to play the checkpoint again. So he did lose a handheld blaster. So he did draw a upgrade, and now we got 2 ISFs that we knew that Brett had. He's going to unfortunately lose a handheld blaster. He did top deck another, upgrade, but it is what it is. And he has the swap missions in his hand, which I don't feel like does a ton. I'm shocked that he's actually side decking that, but if he can get through this game, maybe he can potentially take it back out to, you know, play something else next turn, or no, excuse me, next game. So, of course, he still has to get through this game, but we got a 4 Pierce 3 coming in. So Pierce 3 is going to deal a decent bit of damage to Cliff Jumper. 2 ISFs, so that's actually pretty good for Burgos. Brett's not playing with a lot right now. He does have his draw for his turn, and he doesn't have a lot of options, rather. And then Brett also has the Bumblebee flip here, which will be able to let him dig even more. Now, what's also really good for Brett here as well is, speaking on both sides, you know, Brett doesn't probably need both ISFs. We saw him find ISF in game 1 and 2, and 1 was enough to help him win. So I can really imagine him pitching one of those I Still Functions for Bumblebee's effect to dig more cards in his deck and have options, since, you know, he's exhausted a lot of options. He's exhausted a lot of his hand with the Bumblebee Brainstorm-like effect on the alt mode. And then, of course, you know, Burgos checkpointing Brett twice, even though the Bastion Shield didn't have much current value at the time anyway, but still. So sitting at 4 cards in hand, 2 ISFs. We know that Burgos has a swap missions in his hand. I don't know how many espionages Brett's playing, but depending on how many cards Burgos accumulates throughout the game, he might get in a situation where he has to get the Enigma. And then if Brett finds his espionage again, Brett can just espionage green and rip the Enigma out of his hand, and then he can't even combine, which will definitely be very bad for Burgos. So B's going to attack in. He did draw a Power Punch. So that's pretty good. So he drew Power Punch and Piece to Tyranny first turn. So he's going to discard a Piece to Tyranny, draw 2 cards. Not bad at all. You know, being that it was an option to, you know, get rid of one of the ISFs. Of course, if you can get rid of something else, probably even better. He's flipping 3 double oranges here. Insane flip. He got 12 going into the Alpha Bravo. Alpha Bravo is definitely going to get KO'd, even if he flipped 3 blues. You know, he would have to flip just like Brett did. He'd have to flip Handheld Blaster, white, Handheld Blaster, checkpoint, or something like that. And even then, that's still pretty lackluster. You would still take 6 damage there. So it's a pretty solid turn. We have Burgos here, who has 1 more guy to transform. But actually Burgos might be in trouble because, you know, no, he has 2 more guys to transform still. So being that he has 2 more guys to transform, Brett's going to be able to get 1 more decent attack in with this Prowl. He's going to draw for turn and not play anything. What needs to happen for Burgos right now is to have Enigma come right here on his defensive flip. And he didn't get it here, which is not good for him at all. As you can see, that swap missions did nothing for him, so I imagine he's not going to be, you know, keeping that if he can get to the game 4. But we do see a Bastion Shield on Brett's side. Brett's probably definitely going to get that. He knows how valuable that card's been. You know, he did draw 2 cards, so he has 2 unknowns and a ISF in his hand. I may not have remembered every card in each player's hand at all points of the game, but, you know, if you're a, newer player, or you're a player just trying to, you know, improve your game, knowing what your opponent's cards are at all times, it's legal to write down the cards that your opponent has in their hand. There's always very valuable information. So never sleep on the fact that you can know what kind of cards your opponent has in their hand, you know, like when they pick up their Bastion Shield and stuff, because it'll help you better execute your plays throughout the game. Knowledge is power, as they say. As it's said, because who's they? It's been said. Brett opts to not get the Bastion Shield, which is interesting. So the other two cards that aren't ISF in his hand are probably pretty good then. He's moving pretty fast here, so it seems like, well, I guess your initial opening play of this turn isn't difficult, but he's moving pretty fast there. So he might. I feel like I have a feeling that he might have been future planning this next turn, especially because Burgos was tanking on his move that allowed Brett to be able to better do something on his turn. And yeah, 8 Bolt 3 into Air Raid is probably definitely going to kill that Air Raid. Burgos is blocking for 3 here, but that Prowl is probably definitely going to KO here. And I still don't think Burgos flipped an Enigma here. Yeah, he didn't flip an Enigma. So he has swap missions and an unknown card in his hand. I don't know if he got that Espionage earlier, but this is not looking good for Burgos at first glance. Unless he does already have the Enigma in his hand, he could very easily have just drawn it. But this is looking pretty dangerous for Burgos right here. Him not playing any draw cards is very unfortunate. Like, he's not playing Security Console. He's not playing any Pep Talks or anything like that. Ooh, he only has Espionage. Oh, no. This is not good. It's not good for Burgos. He's going to call orange, but we know he still has those ISFs that he doesn't even have to use, keep in mind. And this Espionage, which Espionage actually is pretty savage right here. Well, yeah, Espionage is really good here. Brett is in a great position because the fact that he hasn't, so Burgos hasn't seen any Enigmas, right? When he attacks here, it's not almost guaranteed because he still has a good bit of cards in his deck. But if he flips an Enigma on attack, it's so bad for him because Brett can just Espionage it out of his hand. And there it is. So this is actually a really bad position for him because he's going to trade swap missions, which has been unfortunately useless this whole game, for the Aerial Bot Enigma. And Brett easily next turn can, like, so he has 2 ISFs in his hand, but he could just flip. He can, well, I'll take it back. He doesn't even need to have a second action in his hand. I'm thinking ahead about like flipping B to alt mode and playing the second action, but clearly with a hand like that, you're not gonna be playing many actions this turn. But like, let's say he drew a Supercharge, like he could play Supercharge and also play Espionage this turn, something to that effect. Or even start your engines. Start your engines would actually, this is one of the rare times start your engines would be good on a wheel turn like this. You flip all your guys to card mode, give everybody bold 2. Though you're not getting an untap here, you're still giving somebody bold 2, and then you can flip a guy back to bot mode to draw a card for Cliff Jumper. So that is an option. So he's gonna play Espionage here, most likely calling green. He knows that he got it. Burgos does have an Energon Axe in his hand, but it's gonna get rid of that Enigma. So the only thing that saves Burgos here potentially is the fact that he can have the second Enigma. But ooh, okay, Brett drew up another Power Punch. Power Punch is insane here. Let's see if he actually discards the ISF here. Okay, so Burgos did flip the other Enigma. Brett's not gonna even bother using. He knows how powerful his ISF has been this entire game. So he's attacking for like 11 here, 10 or 11. Whoever he's attacking definitely is dying, even if it's Silver Bolt. Silver Bolt's only blocking for 2. And Burgos has a single card in his hand. He has to trade his Energon Axe for Aerial Bot Enigma, which is not good. It's safe to say this game is probably over. The Superion is like looking like probably only like 3 health left. I don't think there's a way that Burgos is going to be able to come out of this. He can't even kill the Bumblebee outside of battle because Bumblebee has 4 health left, so he can only deal 3 to it. If this was ATP Silver Bolt or ATP Superion, he would be able to, but so the only chance Burgos has to do anything right here is to obviously kill Bumblebee, but remember that he easily has ISF, you know, times 2. He has 2 ISFs in his hand. So if he had 2 guys dead, he could ISF, which is kind of nasty. He could ISF Bumblebee and then flip Bumblebee to alt mode, ISF again if he had like another guy in his KO area. But so Burgos is in a bad spot here. I don't exactly know how much damage, but I know Skydive literally had 2 health left, 1 health left, right? No, Skydive had 1 health left, so Burgos is just gonna play it out. He's a good sport usually he always is a good sport. I take that back. So I applaud him for that, for just playing it out. You know, whether it's for the camera or whatever the case is. It also is the finals though, so he's gonna die on his shield here. You know, I don't like to call games early, but this one is oh, okay. Well, that was pretty cool. So he had the 3 damage from Superion and he top decked the Armed Hovercraft, which is pretty cool. So that's actually gonna, yeah, that would actually kill the Bumblebee outside of battle. What's unfortunate here is that he can't go kill another character here, which, you know, which would have been insane. It actually would have made this a little bit more interesting, but and as you can see, Burgos didn't even bother putting, he also did flip an orange. He also didn't bother putting out the damage counters on Superion because I think the total health on Fireflight's 7, Air Raid is 8, that's 15. Alpha Bravo's 8, that's 23. Skydive is 8, that's 31. Fireflight is 7, that's 38. So you get one. The Superion himself has 1 extra health, so he has 2 health now. He should be at 37 because Superion himself is 39. Your entire team is 38, so you get 1 more health for your combined guy. So we're looking at if the Skydive had only 1 damage counter left on it, you got the 1 from the Skydive and then 1 left from the Superion, so he has 37 on him, and no armors right now. And with 3 attacks, I don't imagine, especially without a sparring gear or a reinforced plating, he's not going to be able to survive all 3 attacks. Because again, we know he has iStill function, 2 iStill functions that he's had since literally the beginning of the game, that he was able to just hold and not have to use. So we flip him Prowl here. He'll be able to draw a card from Cliff Jumper. He did get a decent bit of damage on Cliff Jumper, but unfortunately Cliff Jumper was just way too far out of range to be hit, to be KO'd in 1 hit. I play the ISF on the Bumblebee, leaving him at 1. And then Bumblebee's going to start. And this attack alone might actually do it here because Superion might be able to defend for like 8 or so. But yeah, we got 9 here. So Bumblebee's probably at least getting in 1. And this attack alone might end up doing it. So let's see how well Burgos can flip here. Got 4 defense, 5, 6 defense. So it's going to take 3 here, and that'll actually be the game right here. And that's going to do it. Yep, that's going to end up doing it. And congratulations to Brett for winning with his 3-wide card deck. And this ended up being a 3-0 against the Superion. You know, again, I think Burgos not playing any type of draw cards or anything like that, and he was just really low on cards the entire game. Was really unfortunate for him. So that just ended up not working out in the end, where Brett was able to outpace him with just drawing a lot of cards and just overpower him. When Dave, Burgos finally saw a security checkpoint, it wasn't even that good, unfortunately. He did even get it twice this game, and he got the same card twice, but it didn't even matter because he didn't have armors to play anyway, and Brett ended up being able to take it. And this is actually Brett's 2nd win in my tournaments. He won SDBG 3 as well with the 2-deck format I did. So yeah, shout out to him for winning, and a good job by both players for making it this far. Burgos yet another finals appearance in a row, but unfortunately came up short against the Aggro card deck. But again, shout out to both players, they did great. And but you guys know what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, enjoyed the gameplay, and be looking out for an announcement on my Wave 3. Well, excuse me, the announcement for my Wave 3 tournament is actually up and in the Discord as well. I'll put the Discord link in the description below. It'll be my 6th tournament, excuse me, Masters of Battle. So Battle Masters were introduced in Wave 3, and you can play Wave 3 and all the Wave 3 stratagems that were available to be played. And but yeah, that'll be it. So more information on that later. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. You guys know what it is. You guys have a great day and or night whenever you're catching this video. This is your homie SDot heading out. Peace.